Okay, morning guys. So we are going to still continue on reflection. So when it comes to basic just vertical or horizontal reflection, I have a feeling you guys are going to be a-okay. What we now need to do is just start looking within a graph. So first of all, just want to have some little bit of revision, let's say. So if I say wanted to plot y equals 2, how would I do so? So hopefully you guys know how to do this. If you can't remember how to do this, I would say make yourself a XY table. It's just here. Oh, that's not a board pen. Okay, so if I wanted y equals 2, I'm going to say, well, I've got my x and I've got my y. So regardless of what this is, I don't know, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah, 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 whatever. Y equals 2. So if x equals 0, what does y equal? 2. If x equals 1, what does y equal? 2. If x equals 2, what does y equal? I have a feeling you might understand. Okay, and from this, you should be able to get your coordinates. So there's my x coordinate, that's my y coordinate. When you write coordinates, obviously they are in alphabetical order. So you've got 0, 2. So this one would be 0, 2. This one would be 1, 2. This would be 2, 2. This would be 3, 2. Make sense? So if I had to plot that, then I would have 0, 2, which is right there. Then I've got 1, 2, then I've got 2, 2, then I've got 3, 2, then I've got 4, 2. Okay, and you just have the points going across. But obviously, just points is not an actual graph, so you need to ensure that you connect these points because you're saying that whatever the x value might be, y will always be 2. So the last thing you need to do is obviously just say y equals 2. The focus. Cool. Okay, so we've got y equals 2. So essentially it is for the y graphs, you should remember they are horizontal graphs that cut through the y-axis at whatever value you have there. So if I had y equals 4, otherwise you could be like this and you could get xy, or you would say, well, it's y equals, so if I was saying y equals 4, then you would say, well, it's a horizontal that's going to go through the y-axis at 4. So that's y equals 4. Okay, if I wanted to draw some other ones, well, this one down here, well, it's horizontal, so it's definitely y equals. And where does it cut through? It cuts through at -3, so it would be y equals -3. Make sense? Hopefully it does. So if y equals is horizontal, which way do you think x equals is? I hope you said it was vertical. Okay, and I've just realised I haven't put a 5 on here. 5, -5. Okay, so if I said x equals -1, it would be vertical and it would go through at -1. Okay, so when it comes to graphs, sometimes they might give you an actual grid like this with coordinates on it, and they might say reflect in the x-axis, reflect in the y-axis, or they might give you an actual graph. So if it was reflect in the x-axis, obviously you just reflect there. If it said reflect in the y-axis, then that is your line of reflection. But what if they said reflect in, don't want y, okay, y equals -1? What would I do? So the first thing you'd have to do is find that line. So as we already know, y equals is the horizontal. So I'm going to find that line, which is right here. So it's my y equals -1. It's always good to label whatever you think the line is. That way, if you are reflecting it, as long as the reflection is correct, you get your follow-through marks. Okay, so this would be your mistake, but because you reflected correctly, you would still get the rest of the marks. So always make sure you show the line rather than just flipping it over wherever you need to. Okay, so for the next part, I would say, well, that's my line. So if that's 2 away from there, that point will be 2 away. If this is 3 away, that point is 3 away. If this is 2 away, then it's 2 away. And then I've got this is 6 away. So this is 6. And then you find the rest of the corresponding point. Okay? What if I said reflect in x equals -3? Okay, so x equals -3 would be a vertical line. And it would go through there. Okay, so this one, obviously it's going through the shape. So it might be that you are still flipping the shape, but you'll notice that the shape kind of seems to go into each other, if that makes sense. So all you need to do is exactly the same process. You just say if it crosses the line, if I'm flipping it, it will go that side. So anything on this side of the line, on the right of the line, will go to the left. And anything on the left side of the line will go to the right. Okay? So for these points, well, this point is on the line, so that is that. This point is 1 to the right, so that means the reflection would be 1 to the left. This point is 1 to the right, so that is also 1 to the left. This point here is 1 to the left, so I'm going to have 1 to the right. And then we have this one, so that's 1 to the left, so it's going 1 to the right. That one's on the line, so I'm not worried about that. This is 3 to the left, so it's going 3 to the right. 3 to the left, so 3 to the right. So I've got that right there. Oops, that went a bit messy. This is one reason why I'm not a huge fan of rollerballs. And if anyone is a stationery geek, they will understand that. If you're not, don't worry, it's just misliking her stationery. Okay, so this is what the new shape will look like. Okay, so you'll notice, yes, it's gone through the shape, but you have reflected. Anything that was on the right went to the left. Anything that's on the left will have gone to the right. Okay, so you just need to be aware of this. As long as you know how to do this, I know all of you can reflect. So all you need to do is apply it to this kind of graph. So as long as you know how to do this, this part will actually be pretty easy for you guys. Okay, so I'm going to pop on a couple of worksheets. Try and see what you can do from there. And then let me know if you have any issues. Okay, take care, guys. Make sure you are getting your vitamin D, so for your calcium and everything else. Stay safe. Toodles.